We're going to find out how the different school levies did. If did yours pass? You happy about that? We'll get some of your calls and talk to Rich Hoffman from No Lakota Levy next on the big one, 700 WLW. So James, who's spinning the dials radio style for me today, said that he was supposed to vote in Norwood on Williams, the Korean Methodist Church there. He goes there, has his card that says he's supposed to vote there, which was only mailed out a couple of months ago. And a sign says, no, we've moved it. He had to figure out where the new place was, although it was only a couple weeks away. He's not that familiar with it, so he's running around trying to find out where he's supposed to vote. So he didn't have voting in the Korean. There was a big sign that just said, Anio, no voting, Anio. Rich Hoffman joins me from No Lakota Levy. How are you, sir?
A little better today than yesterday.
Yeah, it's a shock, though. 5 of the 11 levies in the area end up passing.
Well, I'm pleased with ours, but I'm very disappointed in the other ones, particularly Lebanon and Little Miami, there's some issues out in Lebanon that are kind of funky. I guess there were 2 different ballots floating around, and we got to figure out what that's all about, because that could easily be the margin of error, and I'm not sure what the deal is.
So, you know what? My question to you would be this. Although Lakota's failed, which is a good thing because we still don't have any new ideas, for those 5 districts that pass school levies, the quality of education is going to go up dramatically. They will be able to compete on the world stage. The families will have more money. The kids will be happier. The teachers will be better paid. All of these things are going to happen now, right?
No, you hit it earlier when you talked about it being it's like having a bleeding wound that never stops healing or never heals. And you just put the Band-Aid on and you hope to hold the blood back. The way the funding model is currently arranged and the expectations that a lot of these employees have are really out of the ballpark. And, in Lakota, at least we're setting a standard to try and get that reality in check. And I think that's what the vote yesterday was all about. But with the other ones, all these other districts, all across Ohio, the ones that passed them, all you did was put a Band-Aid on it. You buy yourself 2 or 3 years, and then you're back at it again. And it's got to be fixed, and it really needs to be fixed quickly.
Guy just called and talked to the producer, James, and couldn't stay on the line, but he wanted me to ask you something. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to answer it. I'm going to ask myself it, too. I'll answer, and then I want to get your take on it. He asked if you would ever, under any circumstances, vote for a levy in Lakota. Now, before you answer, this brings up a really good point. The whole point behind issue 2 for many of us was that exact question. I want strong schools, and I would vote for levies. I would vote to increase my taxes. You hear what I'm saying? I would tax myself more if there were real plans laid out to truly educate the kids, to fix the system instead of Band-Aiding it.
Right.
Now, the only way I'm going to vote myself any new taxes, because I will rabidly fight against even 1 cent increase anywhere.
The question is, yeah, sure I would, if there was determined to be an insufficient amount of money supplied. And that's not the case at Lakota. We're very highly taxed. We already supply quite a bit of money to the school system with state funding and federal funding going down. The school district has to look at not increasing taxes on the property owners, but lowering their own costs, because the revenue isn't going to be there in the future. I mean, you got to look at a 10, 20-year plan, and you have to adjust to it. That means your expectations of what you get as compensation for that job have to be adjusted to the CPI of what everybody else is living with. And that's what we're trying to establish. And I think that the vote yesterday, and I would say this to anybody, because I know they've talked about floating another one in February or May or whatever. And just like you saw Mount Healthy, they put theirs down again, and West Claremont put theirs down again. I would say we talked to the superintendent about a month and a half ago. We talked about on these airwaves, and we told her that if this levy goes down, you need to go to the teachers union today. And you need to say to them, look, the community says no more money. It's a mandate. We improved 1 percentage point on our last election, and that's with them cutting busing. That's with them doing the pay-for-play sports. That's with them lowering the levy amount. And we still gained a 1%. That tells them something. That's a community mandate to go to the LEA, the teachers union, and say, listen, you need to get your costs down 5%. You need to work, and that's what they said in issue 2, right? I mean, they said, You don't need issue 2. You can work with us. Well, okay. Superintendent, meet the LEA. Sit down, have a chat, and find a way to reduce your costs by 5%. And if people don't want to live with that, go see if you can shop yourself around in another district See if they're willing to pay your extraordinary compensation package, and we'll pick up somebody out of college that's very hungry and willing to work for, 2/3 less or a third less.
That's a great point, Rich. Great point. So you could take a break now until February, right?
I could take a break for about 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days, and then here it comes in February.
Right. That's what they should do, and that's what we're telling them to do. But already you can see the positions the comments they've made already is that they're blaming the community. They're saying we're all selfish. They're saying that I can't imagine who wouldn't want to pay for the school levy. Look, where do you draw the line? I talked to several reporters yesterday. I did the whole TV thing, and a lot of them, off camera, asked me, "So where's the line? Where does it end?" I said, "That's what we're establishing. You have to say at some point in time what's good, what's bad. Look, Lakota cut $12 million out of their budget. We have good employees, and they managed to improve their academic standings in a couple different categories."
Rich, I'd like to see them make more, and I think they can make more. But we need to change the system. We need a new model that says we don't need all of those employees. Now, that's difficult for a lot of people to hear. But we have moved on, just as we have replaced in factories, some people with computers and mechanics and whatever. Some of those jobs are going to go away and should go away. That's where we're at with education. I mean, now there will be other jobs that open up because we need other support people and other new positions or whatever. But as far as that core at any local school district, it's time we revamp the system, put it online, as we've said. We change the structure, and then those of you that are working and doing the job and working well, I want to see you make a buttload of money.
Yeah, there's ways you can do it, but I don't see a model that allows education to continue to exist at this level.
Well, all right. Well, thanks for the fight, and good job in Lakota, and hopefully we'll keep that happening.
Oh, it's all good. Until the next time.
All right. Rich Hoffman, No Lakota Levy. More of your comments coming up. Got a bunch of people want to comment on the younger people voting. 2 other people we have asked now. That brings up to 18 the number of people under 30 here or around the station that did not vote yesterday, and only 1 that did. It's Doc Thompson, 700 WL.